It's rather astounding to me the amount of searches that I see on Google and YouTube about how do we remove rock. If you've been in this business long, you know there's really not that many methods for removing rock. You can hammer it, you can trench it, or you can blast it. Well, now you can cut it. This new technology takes all the guesswork, all the pain and suffering of, slow productivity and high cost of use. It just alleviates all that. It's amazing. It's something that I got into about 4 years ago, and I'm trying to get the word out, and that's the reason for these fancy YouTube videos, is to try to teach you what I learned in the field, on the job about 4 years ago, and we are still using this technology in our day-to-day business every day. The rock cutting technology from KEMROC is a game changer, without a doubt. I'd love for you to come and see it. I'd love to bring it to you, let you try it out on your own job. Give us a call at rockhardsolutions.com. We'd love to hear about your problem and try to help you solve it. So the difference that I see in rock cutting versus all the old traditional methods is that you can be so much more precise. You can cut only the rock that you need to cut. For instance, how many times have you tried to hammer out a 12 or 15 foot deep trench and you ended up being 10 and 12 feet wide at the top because you had to have that in order to get your hole ram bit down to the bottom? You don't have to do that anymore. With these EK chain cutters and KRC bullhead cutters, even the drum cutters on the wider trenches, you only remove the rock that is necessary. Period. End of story. That saves you money everywhere. It saves you money on backfill. It saves you money on labor and equipment getting the rock out of the way in the first place. And it's going to save you a lot on wear and tear. Look, how many times have you taken a hammer to get that 12 to 15 foot depth and you get the ditch halfway excavated and all of a sudden, poof, your hammer blows up. Oh shoot, everybody's sitting around waiting for the lowboy to bring another hammer out. Well, that's what the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and thinking you're going to get a better result. You're not, unless you try these rock cutters. They're amazing. This rock cutting technology will go anywhere that you have to get rock out of your way. I've used them on warehouse sites to remove rock from fire loops around buildings, to remove rock from sanitary property service connections, even on the mesh rock side. If you're doing a building pad and you've got 8,000 or 10,000 yards of mesh rock, just go in there and cut it out of your way. You can take that rock and put it on the roads. You can use it in your trench backfill. You don't waste it. You don't have to run it through a crusher. You don't have to run it through a screen. It's ready to go. My clients are having success with this. They're learning the same lessons that I did, which was, why the hell didn't I do this sooner? It's the cost of these units, hourly operating and maintenance costs, are a fraction of what they are for hydraulic hammers. And then, goodness, if you start talking about rock trenchers, that's a whole nother category of expense. Anybody that owns a rock trencher knows you've got to have an operator and a mechanic ready to go full time to keep that thing up and running. And then when you don't have rock to move, you set $1 million piece of equipment off to the side and look at it, and which really hurts your CFO's feelings. I'm really not sure why people haven't heard about this, other than the fact that it's new to the United States. This technology has been in Europe, specifically in Germany, since the late 80s. So it's not necessarily a new technology, which also makes me feel good, because how many times you get that new tech come out and there's always a bug in it? Well, there's no bugs in this stuff because they've been running it in other parts of the world for 3 decades now. Well, keep in mind, too, that these cutters are mechanical attachments built by human beings. They're going to fail. I'm not going to lie to you and say they won't. But what we have learned through our use of TNC Contract is, generally speaking, most of our failures are self-induced. We'll forget to open a hydraulic valve, or the case drain gets plugged up or something. There is wear and tear, particularly in the chain cutters, because you have a chain that's running around an idler just like on your bulldozers. That's going to wear. But the amount of rock that it will remove in the time that it takes to wear that chain out, your per hour cost is less than a hole rim. We've got chain cutters that we have taken the original chain, we would take it off, we'll put a new chain on it, but then while that one's out working, we'll go and rebuild the new chain, or the old chain rather, and put it up on the shelf and then have it ready to go. So when the chain breaks, guess what? We just run the service truck out there, press one pin out, take the old chain off, put the new chain on, and off back to go. One of my personal experiences with that, I had a chain cutter go down at what we called our first demo days, where we were trying to show this product to our clients and let them operate it, let them see it in action. And I was embarrassed because I had my service guy came to me and said, "Hey boss, this chain's getting ready to flop off this EK150. He said, "It's not going to make it through the day." And I thought, oh goodness, I've got 40 or 50 people here to see this technology. Well, I sent him to the shop, or actually I had someone bring him the parts he needed. And in 1 hour and 15 minutes, he took the old chain off, put the new chain on, and the machine was back in service in 1 hour and 15 minutes. One of my clients was standing there watching that, and he was more amazed at the amount of time it took to fix it than the actual operating of the machine. People ask me, how can I afford it? And yes, these cutters are typically a little bit more expensive than hammers by unit, but my question is, how can you afford not to? I mean, if I tell you that you're going to get 3 to 5 times more productivity out of a drum cutter or a chain cutter than you're going to get out of a hammer, I'm not telling you a fantasy. It works. I mean, I do it every day. I've got proof. I've seen it in action, and it'll work for you too. Well, if you or your team are scared of this technology, what I would ask is, come and see me. Let me show you some of our units working in the field. If you can't make it to Louisville or the areas where I'm working, let us bring one to you. I would rather you see it, because I am confident once you see it in action, you're gonna want it. It's just plain and simple. There's no way around it. The technology just works. Absolutely. If you're not sure about this, give me a call. I'd love to sit down and hear about your problems, try to figure out which of our attachments mates up to your application the most cost effectively, and let's try it out. Well, if you're tired of losing money on hoe rams, you need to call me. Period. I mean, and I know you are, because I own a fleet of hoe rams and I've spent a fortune on them. And matter of fact, in the last 4 years, since I've built up my cutter fleet to the point that where I no longer had to use a hammer, my hammers are actually laying in a scrap dumpster at the moment, getting ready to go to the scrap yard.